The School of Ants project is a citizen science project that has a goal of discovering and monitoring ant species distributions. So basically mapping ants. The reason for doing this project is that we just don't know how ants are distributed. And that means some of these obscure ants that maybe don't even have a name yet, but it also means invasive ants, ants that have been introduced and might cause problems. But for all of the other kinds of ants, and there are more than 200 species of ants in Florida, we don't necessarily know where they're distributed. So the project has a very simple protocol so anybody could participate. We have people participating who are young, kids in kindergarten, and we have adults, people in college, people who are professionals. The protocol is really simple. It involves cookies, note cards, putting ants in the freezer, and then sending them into my lab. You first start by putting cookie crumbs on some note cards on the ground in a green space and then also in a paved space, so on a driveway or on a lawn. And then leave the cookies for an hour. The ants will come and they will certainly find your cookies. And then once you've waited an hour, you scoop them into a bag, freeze them overnight, and send them into my lab where my students and I identify them and put those points on the map where your ants were collected. People can then come back to the website, find out the names of the ant species that they collected, and learn a little bit about the wildlife in their own backyard. After that, what we can do is we can start to connect the dots, basically see the different species of ants or the same species of ants and get a better sense of the map of the distribution of the species. We were totally overwhelmed initially because we put up our website, we said, hey, does anybody want to do this project? And we got about 10,000 responses within the first 2 weeks of people saying, hey, I want to know all about the ants in my own backyard. How do I participate? So we've had this tremendous interest from the general public of people who are actually very interested in knowing about the wildlife that lives around their homes. This led us to a very interesting discovery, which was in the first couple of months, we got in some species of ants that were very far away from where we knew that they lived. So these records were really useful for people who do ant monitoring because this was a problematic ant and suddenly it was very far away from its known range. Both of those discoveries were made by kids in elementary school participating in School of Ants just for fun. So around the world, there are thousands of species of ants. More than 12,000 species of ants around the world that we know of, and lots more that are undiscovered. And this project has this goal of discovering the ants and mapping them in order for people to have a better baseline to understand how climate change or urbanization, basically changes to our environment, are affecting them.